Celebrating 4 years of talk like you've never heard it before, this is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. GabNet needs you. Yes, GabNet needs you to call our live programs and be a part of the citizen panels. It's the most innovative talk format yet, because it's not just one caller, it's a group of callers interacting with the hosts at the same time. Here's how you do it. It's simple. First, download Skype at skype.com. To install it, answer 4 simple questions: first name, last name, email address, and your choice of ID. Then launch Skype, go to Add Contacts, type in GabNet Live, and ask to be made a contact. Then you're ready to be on the citizen panel. If you're too lazy, well, you can always call on the phone at 347-352-0079. That's 347-352-0079. For all the information and a call button for Skype, log on to gabnet.net. At the bottom of the page, you'll find a video on how to call us and how to use GabNet. It couldn't be easier. It couldn't be more fun and exciting. We're new. We're different. But we need you to call. So for crying out loud, call or we'll kill this dog. Don't worry, Fluffy. They won't let you die. I'm not kidding. Call or Fluffy gets it. Oopsie.
Every Friday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, get yourself comfy and listen to GabNet's Late Night Lady, 30-Minute Marjorie.
I'm going to bed. I've had a hard week. I think it's lack of nookie. So I'm tired.
That's my wife, by the way. If you just joined us, I'm Alex Bennett. This is The Ramble. It goes till midnight.
I think we should take bets.
What?
What time I'm going to fall asleep.
On tonight's show?
Yeah, all bets.
I'm saying you'll make it through the first half hour.
I'm usually good for half an hour. It's after the half an hour that...
Last week, before the half hour was over, you were falling asleep while I was talking to you.
That's not true.
That's true.
That's not true.
It's true.
How could I talk back to you if I'm asleep?
30-Minute Marjorie is not an official program on the Great American Broadcast Network, a tune-in partner. The length of Marjorie's appearance will vary on each and every Friday night, depending on how tired she is.
Talk like you've never heard it before is now talk like you've never seen it before. Alex Bennett's Ramble is now in video. Log on to Alex's Facebook page at facebook.com/abennett every Tuesday through Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern and experience the citizen panel like never before. We put a face to people like Phil, Patrick, Renee, Kevin, Tony, Jeff, Bree, Brian, and all of our regulars. And Alex is there too in his PJs. Just be glad he isn't naked. You can be one of those people who gets seen and not just heard by calling into Skype. For more information on how to Skype us, just go to gabnet.net. You can dress any way you want, provided it's decent. GabNet is now not just talk and not just a pretty face. So why don't you add yours? This is an Internet Network news break. IP Pingsley reporting. Our top story, the Great American Broadcast Network, otherwise known as GabNet, is now a tune-in partner. TuneIn, the world's largest audio network, has joined forces with GabNet, the world's most innovative talk network. GabNet's partnership with TuneIn means that listeners now have 3 main ways to listen to GabNet programming: gabnet.net, tunein.com, and the convenient TuneIn app for smartphones. To participate in the network's innovative citizen panels on GabNet programs, use Skype and type the handle GabNet Live, or call on your phone 347-352-0079. For more information on this network, its programs, and its hosts, log on to gabnet.net. That's gabnet.net. This has been an Internet Network news break. Celebrating 4 years of talk like you've never heard it before, this is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Celebrating 4 years of talk like you've never heard it before, This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network.
Hey everybody, how are you? It's Alex, it's the Ramble.
It's Friday.
I had a little trouble starting the show because I didn't push I just stopped it and started it for the recording.
What else is new?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't change the show for you at all. And
no one wants to talk to
let me
old
just
people.
make sure. What?
And no one wants to talk to old people.
We'll talk to you in a second. Hold on a second.
Speak for yourself.
What?
Speak for yourself.
What? Speak for myself? Okay. Let me see here. I just want to check something out here. I have no idea.
Where am I?
Huh? Where are you? I haven't put you on yet.
Well, do that.
Why?
Otherwise, I'm going to bed.
Oh,
if I can't be seen, I'm going to bed.
You're going to bed
I'm going to
if
bed.
you can't be seen? Well, you
If
can
I
be
can't
seen.
Okay.
We don't want this. We don't want this place to go like last night. We don't want to blow fuses or anything.
I was asleep during that.
Yeah, we blew a fuse. You get close. Put the mic directly.
I didn't get blamed for it, so
yeah.
that was good.
Yeah.
Or you probably blamed me anyway.
No. It was a problem last night that we had.
And you solved it.
And we solved it. We turned on the electricity again. What I was happy with was the fact that.
You didn't have to go to the basement.
Huh?
You didn't have to go to the
I
basement.
didn't have to go to the basement. I found out that when you have burned something out in here, it's just these rooms go out. So.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah. Let me just do this. Wait a minute. I'm just all out of it. I can't figure out how this works and all of that. Is that weird? Huh?
That's because we have a visitor.
Yeah, that's because we have a visitor.
We have a visitor for 4 days.
That didn't.
Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
Huh?
4 days.
Really?
Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
Really?
And part of Friday night.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
We have a visitor.
Why is it that this is not? That I should be able to tilt this so that it. I guess we're. Oh, I see.
It's 10:08.
I see why. Let me do this. I just want to make you a little more.
10:09.
Huh? There we go. Okay. Apply. All right. I just wanted to frame you better so everybody could see you better.
How
okay?
nice.
All right?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, you're bigger than I am, but it doesn't matter. Okay? Anyway, I don't care anyway what happens with this show. I'm giving up on it.
I could tell.
Yeah, I'm really giving up on it.
It's been noted.
Yeah. Now,
So tell them about our guest.
well, you tell them about our
We
guest.
have a guest.
Yeah.
We have a little one that's staying with us for 5 days.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A kitty.
a kitty.
The kitty, Berta, is staying with
Berta
us.
came to
But she's
visit.
different than she was last year.
Well, she's grown up. She was a kitten last
Well,
year.
somebody said that what they used to do is they would have cats until as long as they were kittens, and when they grew up, they drown them
And start over again.
and start over again. Yeah, because no, but she's you know what's strange? The first time she came over
Last year.
she went behind a door and hid. And then when we found her out, and cats do not like to be found out, okay?
That's true.
That they're hiding somewhere. But when she found out that we knew where she was hiding,
She came out.
she came out, but then she went somewhere
Behind
else.
the washer.
Behind the washer. When we found her there, she finally came out and said hello.
Yeah, well, tonight she came out quicker.
Oh, well, tonight, it was a very short time.
Yeah.
And now she's so needy, I'll bet if you go outside,
She's right outside in the carpet sleeping.
Are you sure?
I just left her. Why don't you open the door?
Wait a minute. I'll go back and look.
She's right outside here.
Really?
Yeah.
Let me see. Let me see. No, she's not.
Oh, she left.
She left.
Wow. Well, she might be in the bathroom. So much for that.
When I walk like this, people can see how skinny I've gotten.
Anyway,
I had a croissant today.
it's a pleasure having her visit us.
I had a
Stop it, Alex. Jesus Christ.
I had a croissant
You
today.
don't stop, do
I
you?
looked up croissants, 24
Oh,
carbs.
man. Give me a fucking break.
Yeah.
I'm only staying till 10:15.
Why?
Because.
Why? Anyway, so we have this kitty here now, and
The diva. She's been aptly named the diva.
I didn't want the kitty here.
He never wants her.
No, I didn't want the kitty here, and I'll tell you why.
Here we go.
It has been ungodly hot, and so therefore, if you have the kitty here,
We worked it out.
well, we're trying to work.
We
it
worked
out.
it out.
No, we're
It's
not.
worked out.
I imagine now you're going to go in the bedroom, and the screen is going to be gone, and so's the kitty.
Well, we did our job.
We did our job. We did everything to keep the cat safe.
Yeah.
No, but I go crazy when she goes and sits on the radiator. You know.
Radiator?
Yeah. By the way, this shirt looks great, doesn't it?
It does.
Did you notice it last night?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, it looked great. So I didn't wear it.
But I see all the
day.
stains in front of
Are
it.
there stains? Well, there are. Well, I hope you can't see them.
He
out
wears
there.
his food well.
No, well, anyway, so I went to
Physical
physical
therapy.
therapy, which is doing me no good at all.
But I took you out to lunch.
But wait a minute. Let me finish with physical
No.
therapy first. You're like Phil. You changed the subject.
I'm just continuing on our journey of the day.
No, but anyway, so I went to physical therapy, and it's not really doing much of anything for
I
me.
told
but
you
but
that.
I think that's the doctor wanted to see if.
It works, and
It
we know
works.
it doesn't work.
So now give me the goddamn drugs, will you? Right? Yeah. So anyway, so we got Berta. That's that's the excitement in our life, folks.
That's it.
Yeah. Well,
That's it in a
otherwise this
nutshell.
is what two old people do when they got nothing else to do.
They don't talk to each other, and they don't have nothing to talk about.
So there's a
and-
station in town that is thinking of doing weekend live programming because they're a talk station.
Here?
But they have nothing but like paid programming and stuff like that, and are thinking of doing it. So I've been in touch with that guy in the past, and I haven't written him in about 3 years. He said we
Was that the guy that was a friend of Albert's that time?
no, none of that. He doesn't even know. He knows this guy only because he worked at Sirius. And so this guy writes me and tells me he heard this on the air. He said, you should write him. And I went, yeah, I have his. He gave me his address. I have his email address. I said, I have his email address. We've been in contact before. He said, let's talk in a little while, and never got back to me.
That was
Okay.
what, 4 years ago?
But I'm thinking of sending him the URL for the audio from last Sunday's show and say, listen to this. And I'm just hoping that he listens to it and
What
hears
Sunday
something.
show?
The show I did for
That
so
show.
soon
That
you
show.
forget.
That show.
So
I
soon you
thought you were
forget.
talking about your podcast.
Send him a URL for that and tell him to listen to it and let him hear somebody saying, hey, I'm old.
You know what I think is better? Send them something.
No. I thought that show was exactly what AM radio wants.
Old.
No. This is that's a fucking internet. You know?
Well, that's true, but that's where radio's gone.
No, radio hasn't gone there. Radio is gone. Okay, but radio, you can't call this radio.
Well,
It's not radio. It's not radio.
it's whatever it is.
No. The radio is a long gone art form that I fell in love with as a kid and doesn't exist anymore,
Well, that's-
except what I did on Sunday night. And when I did it, I came away from it kind of with,
You felt good.
well, no, I've been having, what do you call it, postpartum depression. Because I really enjoyed doing it again, you know, and I felt that I would, I'd like to do more of that. So I don't know. So maybe I'll write this guy and say, listen to it. And if he listens to it, he might find something interesting there.
Yeah,
You know,
you got good feedback.
Because I make a big deal about being an old guy. You know,
That's true.
and quite frankly, who's their audience for talk radio? It's not kids, I'll tell you that right now. Listen to the ads. It's all about potions and lotions. You know.
Same way with the Sunday morning programs.
Well, yeah,
That's all.
Well, no, not Sunday morning programs. The newscasts
and the
6:30.
Sunday morning programs. All those advertisements, are all for old people.
And if it isn't, yeah, I would say that the ads for cruises fit into that.
Cruises. and all these ailments that are now letters.
Yeah. But this thing that we're doing here really frustrates me. Last night, I always put my video on Facebook. Last night, like 30 people watched it. And I went, what's this all about? So I fucking took it off.
I watched it.
I just said, the hell with it. Well, I'm thinking of not running it on Facebook. And just allowing it to show up on, well, it would have to show up on YouTube because I'm doing it on YouTube. But I'm thinking of doing it on, what do you call it? On Gabnet, and that's it. If you want to hear it, go over to Gabnet if you want to hear it the next day. And I don't care if I don't have any, if I'm not going to get any listeners on Facebook, why the fuck should I even put it on Facebook? So they're just. I think people are tired of me. That's what I think. So that's me. You think they are?
Well, it could be true and it could not be true.
Well, there are two options here. there are two options, and you're quite correct. It could be true, or it couldn't be true.
So there you go.
So out of those two options, I've got a 50-50 chance of it being true.
That's right.
Or a 50% chance of it not being true.
No. The glass is
Thank you for giving me the odds.
The glass is half.
I asked you if people are getting tired of me, and I thought maybe you'd say, no, Alex, they're not getting tired of you.
The glass is half full.
What?
You always look at the glass is half empty. It's half full, Alex. Isn't it?
It's half empty.
No,
and I'll tell you why.
You are the most negative
because
person I've ever met.
when I get a glass of I'll put ice in my glass, and then I pour my soda in there. By the time I get halfway down, it's a mixture of water and soda, so I don't finish it. So when it's half full or half full, it's not any good. So it's half empty.
But it's half full.
But the half full part is shit compared to what the full.
We didn't talk about quality. We're just talking about quantity.
I see.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
It's 10:18.
Well, and I just figure when I die, should I be thankful? What is that up to 74 degrees for? Every time I turn the thing on, it goes to 74 now. I don't want it on 74. What the fuck was that all about? Because last night I was in here after the show doing what I do, and I turned on the air conditioning in the other room just to kind of like get it cool so I could maybe go watch some stuff. And we've had both of them on at the same time. But apparently I had one thing on too many, like I had a computer on in there or something. And all of a sudden I had a blackout here.
You should leave that door open.
Well, why?
Because if the air conditioning's on in the bedroom and the guest room, it'll cool this place.
No, it won't. No, this room gets very hot because of the equipment. But anyway, all of a sudden, boom, blackout. And I've always had that fear that I would get a blackout. I would get the lights to go out at night because it goes off. The fuse blows in the basement. We have a box of fuses, but somehow it says, fuck these, I'm going to the basement. So I went, oh my God, and I'm not going to call the super at 12:30 in the morning.
No, you're not.
And there's nobody down there now for me to get down there and work the thing out, because I know exactly where the fuse is. But I would get up and walk out here, and the lights are on, and in the rest of the apartment. The fuse in the fuse box actually worked. So I know now that if I have too much power in here, what will go is the fuse box. It won't be the fuse in the basement.
You don't know.
Well, no.
Well, it happened, but it also, excuse me.
Oh, really? Am I boring you with this
talk?
talk?
Tired.
So anyway, the lights went out, and then, of course, I had trouble with the connections. People went, hey, how come I can't sign on? Blah, 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 put my show on. you know.
Shit happens.
And then I had Jack Bishop calling me in the morning. I can't get on. And I had solved the problem
He's
already.
challenged, Alex.
Oh,
He's
Jesus.
challenged.
He's horribly challenged.
We love you, Jack, but we know you're challenged.
He's very challenged.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a special child.
The little school bus comes for him every day.
We have the little short bus, the short bus. The short computer bus comes. No, he gets all just, I can't get on, you know, and I'm going, it happened today, he couldn't get on.
Well, you could get on his.
And then I checked, and I don't know, there was some problem with this machine at that point. I think when everything blew last night, it didn't exactly reset itself right.
It's 10:21. Can I move over?
No! So anyway, let me see, what else is there? So what am I watching? Am I watching anything good? I just watched the Jim Carrey thing about him being a kid show host.
Is that a series?
It's a series, yeah. It's a half hour. And it's done by Michelle Gondry, who did Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, and which was an excellent picture. And it's about a guy who has a kid show, and he's very childish in his mind. That's why he does such a great kid show. But then he has something very adult happen to him. His child gets killed, and one of his twins gets killed.
And he doesn't recover.
He's not living with it very well, and it's affecting the show. And the show is a $1 billion a year business, and they're worried about that they're all going to be out of work, and the whole business is going to go under because he's not doing too well. You know, he wants to do a show about death, and he said, on a kid's show. He says, well, kids have to learn how to deal with death, and he's right.
He was on the Truman Show, remember? He did the Truman Show.
Anyway, it's not a bad show. I'll watch another one.
Good.
And then I started watching this Jack Ryan thing they're doing on Amazon.
But this is not the new one.
This is a series.
But with Tom Cruise?
No.
Oh, it's a television series.
Yes, with John Krasinski as Jack Ryan.
Oh.
And it starts from the very beginning when Jack Ryan is just a financial analyst. For the don't even think of it.
When they come over.
You know, you can start pulling that bit 2 minutes before we have to go to the phone.
It's 10:23.
And if it's like last night, nobody's going to fucking call.
Well, no one wants to talk to old people.
That's apparently. But no. Jack last night got more callers than I did. You know. And a lot of them are people who usually call me and didn't call me last night.
Well, they used to call you.
They used to call me. They don't want to call me anymore.
What was the Trump teddy bear sitting here for?
Well, because that was the night last week you didn't come on the show.
Right.
So I had the Trump teddy bear sitting there.
And you talked to him.
Well, yeah, I said, here's who.
Trump.
And I put the teddy bear there. I'm thinking of keeping it there. You know.
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
That'll relieve me of
You
Friday night.
You don't like doing this, do you?
I didn't say I didn't like doing it. If you did it a couple hours early.
Yeah, I don't like doing it.
I do, but
you,
it's...
you know why?
It's
because
late.
Because you got to talk to me. and that's something that we never do. We very seldom talk to each other.
We're very seldom in the same room together.
Huh?
We're very seldom in the same room together.
Well, because you're watching your fucking tennis, or some like thingy. See how I'm doing? I'm working my feet. I'm working my exercises on my feet while I'm doing the show.
Oh boy, master. Okay, it's 10:24.
My guy told me to do a golf ball and then roll my feet under it. But But I need the cloth because otherwise it would go sliding around.
And make a lot of noise and scrape the wood.
No, that's not the problem.
I'm going to bed.
Oh really? Look, she's yawning. Anyway, so
Can I come over
so
now?
no. Anyway, so last
This is a favor
so
to the wife that you love.
you know, but I do thank Vernon Nunn and what's his name, Mr. Ritter. Forget it. I keep wanting to say Tex Ritter, Chris Ritter, for calling
Last night.
and yeah, and of course, you know,
The regulars.
the regular Kevin and. And also, Renee called.
And they called and
Later
you
on.
had...
So by the end of the show, we had like 5 people, but then I tune in, and all the people who usually, you know, there's Tim calling.
Yeah, Phil called.
I mean, there are a couple of people that
Phil called.
There are a couple of people that call Jack that I'm so glad they called Jack. Okay, one of which there was what's his name, Mike, who has his laugh makes me turn off Jack's show. His laugh makes me turn off Jack's show. It's such a cancerous laugh, and that doesn't mean that I can't. When he starts laughing, I can't talk.
Well, he doesn't call your show anymore. So what are you talking about?
No. So I don't have to worry about that.
Right.
And then there's Steve, who's calling over to his show now.
Which one was
This
Steve?
is the guy who's always calls up and says what's wrong with his life.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So those I don't mind.
Right.
What Jack probably should have are all the Misfits. And believe it or not, I mean,
there are a lot of Misfits.
I like people who have character. That's why I like Phil. I mean, as annoying as you think Phil is politically, Phil is a good character on this show. And people like Kevin, great character. Jeff, great character. I mean, they all have a nice personality. But nothing that's annoying like that laugh. If you're listening, Mike, don't laugh anymore on his
10:27.
No. 10.
You and me got the shot.
Oh yeah, thank you for that, by the way. Yeah, where's the money you were going to give me for the cab ride?
Yeah, well.
Right. Yeah, I'm at the store trying to get my Apple Mini Mac fixed, and she says, "You've got to rush down to the pharmacy."
It was the last shot. They were holding it for you.
So what was it for? It was
for shingles.
Shingles.
The second shot for the shingles.
So I'll get half a shingle problem. Half a shingle's better than no shingle at all.
You're going to get no shingles. It's 10:28.
And then we got the flu shot. We got the flu shot earlier this year, that they gave us the flu shots, and now we got 2 shots in our arms.
I woke up, my arm was pink.
This arm it's actually warm and
pink.
And
mine's pink
and swollen.
Yeah, and pink.
Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it.
You will avoid the flu
I'd like
season.
to say she paid for it, but she didn't have to because it was covered completely by our health
So
insurance.
At least we got the flu shots. Usually by the time we do it, it's like late fall.
Well, I would rather get them later on, because maybe they'll change them when they find out exactly what flus are hitting.
They don't do that.
You remember that year that the shot just didn't work for anything?
They do that every year. They take a guess.
Well, they see what's happening in Asia.
Let's see what's happening here.
No, they don't. They find out what's happening. All flus start in Asia, and then they come over here. So in Asia, they keep an eye on that. And they say, well, this flu is prominent, that one's prominent. Okay, and then they make a flu shot for it, and that's
okay.
what it is.
Let me say goodnight.
Now you want to come over.
No, I'm going to say goodnight.
You're going to say goodnight even before these people
No one's going to
call in. Jeez, I can't. What? Oh. Wait a minute. I got to move my golf ball and my napkin. There we go. Okay, anyway, so you're coming over. Here she is. She's coming over. So let me get rid of...
Like my hat?
What? Let me get rid of this.
You got this hat on the street of New York.
Wait a minute. Hold on. What?
You got this hat on the street of New York.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You should get a little closer to the mic.
Well, you got to let me in there, fella.
What?
You got to let me in there. You're going to spill this.
Well, jeez. I'm trying to accommodate you.
Okay. Are the boards open?
I haven't even opened up the Skype line yet. Hold on. I've got to open up the Skype line. I've been so out of it all day. I was trying to do the thing with Michael Snyder, and I was just screwing up like crazy. I couldn't get anything right. It was like my mind was farting continually.
It's called dementia.
Huh? Yeah, it's called dementia. Let's see, online. Okay, now we're online. By the way, let me just say something that Skype has now gone from having that red thing and saying this version of Skype no longer exists. It just says will be discontinued soon. So they've changed their thing. Oh, hey, look who the first one is
Hey,
calling
Vernon.
up. Yes, it's there.
And he's not.
There he is.
It's a real him.
There he is. He's got the thing going and everything. Yeah. Oh,
Whoops.
let me see here.
Hi, Vernon.
How you doing tonight?
Yeah,
Okay.
we're doing good.
Tired.
Nice hats.
Isn't that nice? This is Alex's
Yeah.
hat.
Now, what did that? What did you say? What did you send?
That's a general call, CQ.
CQ. Okay.
Yeah,
So basically, you're just saying,
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
I'm here.
I'm
Yeah.
here.
I'm on the air.
Do
I'm
it
on
again. Oh, it's so neat.
Yeah.
It's so
Now,
neat.
do you remember RKO pictures?
Yes.
You remember they used to have
Yeah.
Morse code at
Yeah.
the beginning
At
of
the
RKO
very
pictures.
beginning. Yes.
Yeah, like
They
over
spell
that.
out.
Yeah.
They
What
spell it out.
did it
Yeah.
say? RKO pictures?
Yes. It says NRKO picture.
Can you do that?
Yes.
Really? I think I remember that.
That's about how fast they send it too. So you have to be fairly conversant in Morse code to pick it out.
Sure.
Yeah. Now, I know people like yourself do Morse code because you like it, and it's something
Yes.
you learned how to do, and it's something you do with other people who know Morse code. But
I learned when I was in high school.
is Morse code used for any practical reason today?
No.
No.
With the advent of satellites and that sort of thing, even you used to have a radio operator conversant in Morse code on merchant ships. But with the advent of satellite communication, that's
You
no
don't need
longer a
it.
requirement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes
So,
sense.
so nowhere in marine communications do they use.
Is it required? Right.
Yeah, but might it not become helpful when all other kinds of communications go down, because it doesn't take a lot of
Yes.
transmitting power to get that signal a long way. Am I right about that?
That's correct. It's the most efficient form of radio communication.
Even
interesting.
more than voice.
Yes.
Yeah.
The voice takes more power than just sending dots and dashes.
Now,
But dots and dashes are sounds. It's audio.
Not necessarily. It's converted to a sound in your receiver.
Ah.
now
When you're
initially,
sending it out over the air, you're just sending pulses of radio waves.
Oh. Okay.
So
now
That's interesting.
initially, if I'm not mistaken, initially when Morse code started, it went across wires.
Yes.
Went across the
Telegraph.
country zone. Telegraph.
the telegraph.
And then when Marconi invented radio, the purpose was really to be able to use telegraphy, right?
It was to be able to send messages across the Atlantic Ocean,
Right.
primarily.
But the fact that they could hook a microphone up and people could hear them was a secondary thought. Am I right or wrong on that?
It came along later,
Yeah.
but the technology hadn't evolved until later on, where they could modulate the signal
Oh, I
with
see.
the voice.
Okay. So but initially it was used for Morse code.
Right.
Is there any other code beside Morse code? I mean, who invented Morse code? Samuel B. Morse?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. And there's no other version of that.
No, and what's interesting on ham radio, English is the universal language around the world, all over the globe. If you communicate with somebody in Japan or Russia or China, they all talk in Morse code in English.
That's interesting.
Really?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
in other words, if you want to be a big Morse code fan and you want to do Morse code with Vernon Nunn in the United States, you've got to be able to speak English.
Or at least send it.
Or at least send, well, I mean, but don't you have to understand it in order to send it?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm going to
There's-
say good night.
Nobody's here to say
night.
goodbye to you
Good
except
night.
for Vernon.
Good night, Vernon.
Except for Vernon.
Night.
Have a good one.
See,
Send
it's
me a
gonna,
Morse code.
it's going to be another one of those
Okay.
nights.
Is it a pill-free night?
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a Phil-free night. I
Feel
don't
free
see.
to
I don't
call.
see Phil anywhere nearby.
Feel free to call.
Maybe everybody's gone away for the holiday or something like that. Are you doing anything for Labor Day?
We're
Wait a
going
minute.
next door. Our
Hold on a
neighbor's having
second.
a cookout.
Hold on a second. What? She's out there. You want to just bring her in for
Ah,
a
the
second
little
and let
kitty.
people see her? Huh?
She's laying down.
Well, pick her up and bring her in. Let people see the kitty.
Ah,
They. Is she letting you pick her up?
She doesn't want to be picked up.
She doesn't want to be picked up. Oh, look, here she is. There she is.
She's
Wait a minute.
pretty.
Hold on a second. Yeah, she's a. Yeah.
She doesn't want to do
She's a very pretty kitty.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, you know, I think we have to pay her for that appearance or something like that. But anyway, is anybody else going to call tonight? I mean, I like Vernon, and we've got him without it. That one picture of him, which was you smiling all night.
Yeah,
because
that was last night.
You were using your iPad.
It was a Samsung pad, but
A Samsung
regardless.
pad. Whatever.
Yeah. What's really strange, when I downloaded Skype onto it, it actually shows a camera icon, like I can turn the camera on. But I think the first time I ever tried it, you guys couldn't see me, so I didn't bother last night.
Oh, you didn't even give it a try. Well, you could have given it a shot. You know.
I could have gone down in the basement where I am now, but I was being lazy.
Yeah. Where do you live again?
Louisville, Kentucky.
Louisville, Kentucky. Because there was a thing in the news. Well, I have it over there. I don't want to go get it right now. That you know this thing about net neutrality.
Yeah.
And broadcasting and net neutrality and the with the internet, and you know, everybody should be treated the same way. Nobody should pay a higher price because they're this or that or whatever. And the FCC did away with net neutrality. Well, out in California, they've decided to make net neutrality a law in California, which
Interesting.
is pretty cool. You know, pretty cool. That's what every other state should do, but I don't think they will.
Yeah. Well, I remember something. This was earlier this year. We were talking about the NRA, and I think I don't know if somebody said this just to get Phil's goat or what.
Yeah.
But it was a thought that states and municipalities ought to bring lawsuits against the NRA and just overwhelm them with legal cases to the point where they'll just have to fold up because of bankruptcy.
Funny you should mention that, because New York did precisely that and launched such a huge lawsuit that the NRA has said they're going bankrupt.
Yeah.
So
Good job.
If a few other people would do it, there'd be no more NRA. That's the way to stop somebody, you know.
Well, you heard the case today about Sam Patton, right?
Sam Patton, no.
Yeah, he was a Manafort cohort.
Yeah.
Involved in the Ukrainian political party that was supporting the Russian guy in Ukraine.
Yeah.
And he pled guilty to several charges, including lobbying without registering as a foreign agent. And they think that this guy is going to be a key witness in the Manafort trial that's going to start next week in Washington, D.C. about the same issue.
Wow. I didn't hear about that.
Also, in the pleadings, we discovered that at least 2 foreign nationals funneled $50,000 each into the Trump inaugural campaign, which is illegal. They did it through a shell person.
They say that right now the president can be as quiet as he wants to about this, but the fact of the matter is that they say that all hell is going to break loose next year for him.
Yeah.
And that he's going to be up to his ass in legal problems.
I agree.
Hello, Tom. How are you? We got a Yamaguchi call now. Yeah, and
Hi, Tom.
Hello.
I think now everybody's starting to call. We're on a holiday weekend here, so I can't expect too much, you know.
Yeah, you were asking what we're doing, Alex. Our neighbor next door is having a big party. He's going to have a band and smoke ribs and all that kind of stuff. And he's invited us over too.
Wow. I wished I lived in Louisville. I'd be there. Are you there? Tom, what happened to you?
Tom's there. Oh,
we lost him.
What happened to Tom?
Something happened. We lost him. He'll probably call right back. Hello, Jeff. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
What are you doing for this holiday weekend?
I don't think anything. A little sailing.
A little sailing?
That would be fun.
Well, that's nice. That's very nice. Wait a minute. Let's add Tom back into the mix. What happened to you, Tom?
Oh, I'm doing okay.
No, but I
lost
mean,
the connection
no.
there.
Why did you get? Why did you leave us? Do you have a problem?
It lost the connection. It just you froze up and gone. So
No.
there must be something slow on my end.
Yeah, it must be they don't like us using Skype Classic.
I'm not using Type the classic. I'm using the latest version.
The latest version. What do you think of it?
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
You don't have to
mind.
do a show with it, though. I have to
I
do
don't
a
have to
show
do a
with it.
show. No.
You know, and I like it where there's just a whole bunch of people on the screen at the same time instead of 4 people on the screen. You know, oh boy, now everybody's calling. Let's see here. Phil is calling, and Renee is calling. So there's Phil, and Renee is whirling around. Are you going to keep whirling around tonight, or are you going to show us the facial peel?
No, a snake and you won't be able to tell us apart. I am literally peeling off of the top of my body.
Really?
Yeah, my whole. So the thing is when you peel your face, you're not allowed to pull on it. So you kind of have to walk around with lizard skin until it falls off, or you kind of do a gentle rub. So no, you're not going to see me.
Really?
That chance.
Well, at least show us that picture of Trump.
I'm hoping that's what's there.
That is what's there.
It was
Okay,
what
good.
was there. You just turn your camera off, and it should. If you see
It
the
should
camera
be there,
icon,
yeah.
and so if you turn off the camera, that's what should come up.
It should. Phil, can you see it?
Yeah, I see your
Okay.
inflated Trump.
I don't see.
No, it's my baby Trump.
Oh.
We don't have the
Doesn't-
baby. We don't see it here in New York. Well, what the
Huh.
hell?
Okay.
That's okay.
I'll work on it.
So anyway, so you look like a snake.
Oh man, my neck. My neck is peeling. My nose is peeling.
Now,
my forehead is
Can you
peeling.
explain to me, because this is purely female ego at work. Why?
Well, yes and no.
Why did you get a peel? And why do women? Do you ever hear of guys, all of you,
Yes.
getting peels?
Yeah.
Acne.
Really?
Acne.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Acne pills. It's people who have really bad acne.
Oh, okay,
they
okay. Well,
get
that's a
pills.
different story. But you're a lovely woman with no acne.
True, but I played a lot of sports outside when I was younger, and we had no idea that sunscreen was this important.
Oh.
Because we used to put on, who didn't wear Tropicana the oil? And
I used to
Yeah.
wear Tropicana.
Hawaiian-
I used to wear
Yeah.
Tropicana the
Hawaiian
orange
tropics.
juice.
Yeah, worst stuff you could have put on. And we baked in that stuff.
Yeah, because that
Just
stuff was
baked.
that stuff you.
Thank you, Vernon.
We used to use that stuff to literally baste ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was wrong.
Yeah.
It was very wrong.
Yeah. So, but
We just didn't know. So now I'm just trying to get rid of some of that crap.
yeah, I've gotten some real sunburns from time to time in my life, but they never left any permanent skin damage. Well, I
it
don't
was
know.
kind
You
of
be
John
the
McCain's
judge,
issue
folks.
that
What?
did this, right?
Huh?
But John McCain, when we found, so I always thought melanoma was a sun issue. And then when John McCain got melanoma on the brain, that's when most of us learned that that is something that could show up anywhere
No,
in your body.
That was a glacio.
Glass of.
That was okay. That wasn't the melanoma.
No, it isn't melanoma.
Okay.
That was glass.
Sorry.
Glass. I'm trying to remember the name of it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought it was melanoma. I apologize.
A glass.
Terry
stove.
McGovern's wife died of that also.
Oh, did she?
Yeah,
I
last year.
forgot what she died of.
Really?
So I'm just not going to show up. But I have to catch the weather. It looks like the Miriam isn't going to hit us. And with any luck, Herman or whoever the guy is behind it is going to go the same direction.
Yeah.
So we should be good for a little while. But hurricane season lasts until the middle of October, so we're not out of the
Yeah, but
woods anyway.
the advantage you have is that hurricanes go through the Pacific, but the Hawaiian Islands are kind of small.
We're tiny.
You know, so when when those hurricanes are going, they may come nowhere near Hawaii.
Yeah.
But when they happen
And
in the United States, you go down there, you've got the Bahamas, you've got Puerto Rico, you've got all those places, you know.
Yeah, all crunched in together, and it's a very
Yeah.
small place. So, anybody want to talk about how horrific Puerto Rico's numbers are?
Well, I mean, what do you mean, my ratings in Puerto Rico? No, thank you very much, folks. That was
You know, I just wonder how many people die normally in Puerto Rico in the same time period.
yeah, but they don't have a hurricane come and then things fall on them and they die. Okay,
Well,
Phil?
I'm sure that there are some that
I'm
died
sure
due
this
to the
is.
hurricane,
I'm sure,
but there are other people that
No,
died
the-
just because
these
they
are
died.
people who died directly as the result of the hurricane. I'm sure all those other people who were going to die anyway died.
Yeah, and they get counted too.
That is really a stupid comment, Phil.
Hey, I just got my bill from Kaiser for the heart surgery.
Oh, here we
Yeah,
go.
what does it look like?
Yeah, you didn't
Dying
believe
for
in
that.
a single payer?
It's $47,678.55.
That's kind of cheap to save
I
your
want
life.
to know, why don't they just round it off? Why when they give you a number that large, does the 55 cents seem to matter to them?
So,
Well,
if
I-
we gave them 48,000, would they have let you just like pass out on the table? And
Well, I gave them $30 at the time I was admitted. And now they're saying that I owe another $95 and $47,553.55 was my discount from insurance.
wow, that's
So
Yeah. Now
it's
tell
amazing
everybody.
how
Wait
far
a
they've
minute.
come in heart surgery.
Tell
now.
everybody how much you pay for Kaiser every month.
a little over 1,000.
Okay, and how long have you had it?
Since years ago it was a lot cheaper because I was younger.
Yeah.
And since Obamacare, it went from like 300 to 1,000.
Do you think we're anywhere in the 47,000 range that you've paid over to finally get to this point where they picked up the tab?
No.
You-
Jeff paid this for me.
No, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, that's what you have insurance for. You know, not everybody who went to this place had a heart surgery.
Right.
And, this is my second one in 2 months. This heart surgery was just for the last one. I never even saw a bill for the the previous one.
Oh, this is for the one you just had?
Right.
No, it's the one. Oh, really?
Are you sure this
Not
isn't
for
for
the
the
first
first one?
No,
Yes, the
no,
first
it's not.
one.
No, because they want $95 in addition to the $47,553.55.
You know, I'm just saying this for sake of argument.
Yeah.
What difference does that $95 make to them because it's a 47,000 some odd dollar bill? I mean, if you don't pay that $95, will they sue you?
No, yeah, maybe what they'll do is turn me over to a collection agency. It'll lower my FICO score.
Oh yeah, don't do that.
But I can call them and make payment arrangements.
On the $95?
I
But
paid
Phil,
it.
but Phil, may I ask, why is it that you don't think that Vernon should have that same single pair or option to do this? Why is it that any American
Why shouldn't Vernon have it? Because
Yeah,
he's a Democrat.
No, I didn't see that coming.
Well, I believe all citizens should have that, Phil, not
I
just
do
the ones
too.
who believe like Trump.
Yeah, well, do you know what Trump did yesterday or the day before?
I don't follow him.
What did you
Well,
do?
he negotiated this new deal with the Mexico, and what he did was he said to Mexico,
He didn't
and this is
negotiate.
the smartest
he didn't
thing
negotiate
I have
it.
ever seen
No
him
deal
do.
has been negotiated with Mexico.
He's
He negotiated a
No,
new
there's
deal.
no deal negotiated with Mexico. What they've done is they've agreed to sit down and talk about it.
Well, this is the deal that he proposed.
Oh,
He said that he wants Mexico to raise the pay or the income of Mexican workers And by doing that, it's a brilliant move, because instead of people jumping over the border trying to find a better life, they can have a better life.
Well,
in their
why
own
doesn't
country.
he work a little deal out for Americans, okay?
Well, that helps Americans, because when you raise,
I see.
You're not competing.
So if they start having
when you're
really
not
good free
competing
health
against
insurance, don't you
people-
think maybe we're going to go to Mexico?
That was
I
the
love
whole premise
fact-
of NAFTA in the first place, Phil. The whole
But
purpose of
NAFTA didn't
NAFTA in the first place was to increase the economy in Mexico, because otherwise they were teetering on the edge of bankruptcy.
Right.
And by
Venezuela.
moving those manufacturing jobs down to Mexico, they improved the economy in Mexico. And since then, the immigration from Mexico to here has actually gone down.
It has gone
But you
down.
won't acknowledge that.
No.
No, you won't acknowledge it, but the amount of people crossing the border has gone down, Phil.
Yeah, because they're arresting them.
No, not that was before this.
Well,
Hey,
they're still paying the Mexican workers a lot less than they pay the American workers. So if you can raise
But
the,
don't worry, in time we're going to get as low as the
income.
Mexican workers, because when
Can
you
I-
talk
I
when
would
you
like to
talk
make
to
2 points.
wait a minute, when you talk to somebody like who we were talking to the other night who works at Lowe's,
No, Home Depot.
Home Depot.
oh, that was Vernon.
Vernon works at
was
Home
he
Depot.
Vernon? When you talk to Vernon, it's not like he's getting those really high big bucks, that you say that, oh, well, Mexico, they don't pay good money down there. Well, they don't pay pretty good money at Home Depot either.
Well,
It's
if
about
he-
minimum wage anyway.
Yeah, if he stood outside at the curb, he'd make $20 an hour
We
cash.
pay him for his white legs. Is that what you're saying? You can
No,
flash us?
that's what it costs. If you hire, one of the workers that stands out
At
in
Home
front of,
Depot, $20 an hour.
Right.
Do you have
Used to be 10.
do you have Mexican or illegals standing out in front of Home Depot where you work? No. That's a California thing.
They do in the.
I know they
when
do
they're
they do
close
in
to me.
Yeah, I know. In Marin, as
So-
you come off the highway, there's a Home
So does
Depot
anybody
there, and
want
they're
to talk
always
about
there
the
like
fact
crazy.
that Trump actually walked into another country and said, "We want you to pay your people more, and I don't care what your budget is."
I think it's a great idea.
Right, that's going to work.
It's
out.
a great idea to ask, because nothing. If they don't
it's
do
a great
anything,
idea that if they lower their tariffs, and this is what the president of Mexico has agreed to do.
Mm-hmm.
If they eliminate the tariffs, and therefore we eliminate the tariffs on them, it opens up true free trade. If their workers are being paid reasonable money so that they don't have to escape over a wall and break their legs to jump over a wall to get a job, and they have gainful employment in their own country, it's good for everyone.
Dream on.
But Trump didn't create that, Phil. That's been going on for over a decade.
Well, then why did the president of Mexico agree to these things just the other day?
Because he's not going to
It's
be
the same thing as NAFTA. They just called it something else.
By the way, is this the president of
That's
Mexico
all.
who isn't going to be the president of Mexico in a couple of months?
Yes.
You betcha. That
Boy,
is-
that's the guy. That's the guy to make a
Nieto
deal
or whatever his
with.
name
That's
is.
a guy to
Yep,
make the
that's
deal with. You know.
Yeah, well, they're
it's gonna
trying to
stick.
push it through. Yeah, they're trying to push it through so that it does stick.
Yeah. Is this going to go as well as that North Korea deal went?
No, it's going to go as
North
well
Korea
as the
deal. North Korea deal will, there's always ups and downs, and
Oh, really?
so
Then how come the president has pretty well given up on it?
he hasn't given up. He just said that he was not sending Pompeo to
And why
negotiate at this
was
point
that?
Because the Korea's not negotiating in good faith.
Oh, well, then how's that Korea thing going for him?
Well, you start with a conversation, and eventually you arrive at an agreement.
Hi,
That
Ray.
is
Wow.
substantial.
So basically, we were exactly where we are when President Obama was in office.
No,
Got
where
nowhere. It was just
Renee,
a lot of show.
when President Obama was in office, he was setting off atomic bombs, and he was doing underground experiments, and there was a.
How do you know?
There was.
How do you know he's not doing them now?
Yeah, that's
Well,
what I was
because that's the USGS can figure out when those things happen.
You know, you were so naive.
Monitor.
Even the administration is admitting that the Korea talks were futile.
Oh, I don't think they were.
You know, you don't think. Wait a minute. You don't think Obama
Well, you
had
heard it on
wait a
the
minute.
Communist
You
News
don't think
Network.
that? No, you don't. You don't think that I don't watch
a
CNN.
gun-toting spy.
No, you don't think that that they had talks with North Korea when Obama was president?
When Obama was president, I'm not sure if they did.
Yes,
I
they
don't
did.
think so.
Yes, they did. And you don't
Did
think they
Obama
had? You don't
bring
think they
home
had
the
talks
bodies
with?
of the American
You don't.
soldiers?
You
He
don't.
brought some home. That is a gesture that happens almost every time, and they only trickle them out, which is why it's so amazingly painful. So every time when they come to the table a couple of times, then they come to an agreement to release some of the bones, and then they release the bones. But they won't just give it to it all at once, which is what it should be.
There was quite a number of containers.
Yeah,
of,
but how many
of
bodies?
Not all of
How many bodies do they have?
Well, they're still working on that. They were working on the DNA and.
No, they're working on the DNA here. They're not working on
Yeah.
the DNA in Korea, North Korea.
Of course not.
How many
In
bodies?
Korea, they can't even spell DNA.
How many?
Ooh, I did not say that, Kim Jong Un. I did not say that. If you're listening, I did not say that.
What are you afraid of?
I'm afraid of Putin. I'm freaking afraid of Putin.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit about our idiot in office, but I'm scared shitless of Putin.
I heard he's giving us a discount on our voting machines.
Yeah. Hello, Ray. How are you?
I'm all right. How you doing?
Yeah. What's up?
Just got on.
Getting ready.
Was
What
listening.
are you eating?
I am eating. Pita chips
Stacy's pita chips, yeah.
with some Costco guacamole.
Oh, well, the guacamole at Costco isn't bad.
No, it isn't.
You know.
Hey, have we heard from
cheap.
Kevin yet?
Yeah, Kevin's there.
He's here.
He's here. Yeah.
Up there. I'm sorry. Sorry about
How'd
that.
it go, Kevin?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yes, I forgot to ask.
Yeah,
This is
that's
the
right.
aftermath.
He got stuck.
As you remember last night,
Well,
ladies and
stuck.
gentlemen, he was cleansing himself out for an cystoscopy, a what do you call it? A colonoscopy.
A colonoscopy.
How did it go?
And he did.
Yeah.
He drank some of it on air,
Yeah,
and it took a good hour for it to pass. So that was probably a good thing.
yeah. We had a
you say
really,
it was an
really
hour,
shitty show last night. Yes.
I beg your pardon.
An hour and 1 minute, was it, Renee?
Yeah.
Yeah, an hour and 1 minute. So that was pretty impressive, considering how much liquid you were.
No, that's
going
about.
through.
I'll tell you, that's about right. I think when I take that magnesium citrate, and then it just sits there, all of a sudden you go, "This isn't working. Nothing's happening." And then all of a sudden you go, "I gotta go to the bathroom right now."
And then I had to get up at 2:30 in the morning and do it again, and holy crap, it was right on the money.
It
I
happened
wonder
almost
if I give
immediately.
my dog that, if she'd be a little more regular. You know, I
Yeah.
walked her this morning, got a nice poop. I came home from work, no poop. You know.
You don't want to give it to your dog. Your dog will shoot down the street about 3 times faster than you will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, you went in for the colonoscopy. They put you out, right?
Yeah, it was kind of interesting. Yeah, they got me in there, and then they roll you over, and Abdul comes up and tells me he's going to put me asleep.
Yeah.
And he rolls me over. He says, "Oh no, it's okay. She's just gonna do exam, And I'm seeing the doctor walks in behind me, and I'm hearing, feeling this, and all of a sudden I get this, boom, broomstick, and I'm going, "What the hell?" He's, "Oh, he's just gonna do an exam," and next thing I know, I'm gone.
Oh, you're out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
But
could've
He
done the
started
exam.
just a hair too early, as far as
Yeah, I was just thinking
no,
about that.
usually they
Yeah.
wait till you're
Yeah,
out.
I said you're aiming just a little bit too early there, buddy.
Now,
Yeah.
are you
Because
a
I
Kaiser
never felt
child, or do you go
No,
to
I'm not a
somebody-
Kaiser child. I'm a
Okay,
PPO
so
guy.
so anyway,
Yeah.
so you go out, and the next thing you know, you wake up, right? It's like somebody
yeah,
edited.
it was great going out. but then you wake up and like you said, 45 minutes, 50 minutes later, you're going, okay, where's my cigarette?
Oh, where's that 45 minutes that they just edited out of my life?
They found one polyp there, so they had to yank it out.
Yeah, was it any questionable polyp or just?
Yeah, they're sent it to a lab, so I gotta wait to find out what the deal is.
Yeah.
So my doctor said, and Marty's doctor said, that I'm pretty and pink inside, and so did they give you a clean bill of health after removing the polyp?
No, not yet.
Well, one polyp is not bad, and they always send what they call precancerous polyps out just to be safe.
Mm-hmm. Every time I've had it, I've had 5 or 6 precancerous polyps. Precancerous.
Yeah.
And I've had it 3 times.
But the fact that they got it out, I mean, I said to my doctor, I said, now that you got it, what happens? How fast will it grow back? He says, if we got it, he said, if we got them, if they start growing back starting tomorrow, it'll be 5 years before you even have to worry about it.
Well, it's been 11 years, and I think they found one back then. They said they found a small one or something. So
yeah,
it's 11 years.
Yeah.
Ray, how long does it take yours to grow?
Well, I have to go in every 3 years.
Whoa.
Well, because when they find them, usually they probably ask. They'll probably ask Kevin to come back.
Benign, there's precancerous, and there's cancerous. So mine are the precancerous.
Yeah. What did they say about yours? Did they say it was precancerous, or did they say it was benign, or what?
Mine?
Yeah.
I have to wait
send
for the
it
labs,
off.
They don't know for like 2 weeks.
Oh.
Yeah.
Send it off to the lab. So, Ray, how many times have you had to drink that concoction?
3.
So, for the people listening, the way this normally works with like Kevin just did.
By the way, welcome to Alex's waiting room again.
So, you actually get it done, and the worst part of getting it done is drinking the stuff, and then you don't have to go back for a long time. So this thing with Ray, unfortunately, so why we still cringe, we have like 4 or 5 or 8 years of not going back, but poor Ray's doing this every 3 years.
I wonder why I have to do the cleanse before I see my dentist.
Because you shit. Because you shit.
Full of shit.
Yeah, that's right.
The thing is that.
Went to Kaiser.
Yeah,
Kaiser.
But I think it sounds like you're in pretty good. I wouldn't worry about it, Kevin. I think you're probably okay.
Hey, Vernon, have you done one?
I've done 4.
You've done 4?
I've done 4.
Well, because you probably had polyps and wanted you back in 3 years, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But the last time they only found 2, so they're giving me a 5-year reprieve this time.
Oh, nice.
Oh, really?
So, Ray, if you do better, you don't have to have things stuck up your ass.
Now, I asked the Kaiser for the colonoscopy, and they told me I had to wait till I was 65.
That's bullshit. Yeah. It's just bullshit.
I don't think that's true.
That's Kaiser fucking bullshit. That's why Larry Brown refers to them as doctor-assisted suicide.
I don't remember being told that.
Shitty socialized medicine.
Yeah.
Well, it was so. I'll tell you,
$47,000 for that operation.
It was. Believe it or not, it was the first experiment in socialized medicine in this country. When Henry J. Kaiser started it for his employees, and then later expanded it to other people, and I was a Kaiser kid, and that when it first started, and it was a great thing, socialized medicine is great, but we can't make Phil believe that.
I was born in Kaiser too.
Yeah.
My wife grew up on it, and she went through the whole thing, and then when she got laid off her job, they didn't offer it anymore, and she went into my insurance with Blue Cross, and she was just lost. She had no clue. What is this EOB stuff? She had no clue. She was just used to going in, paying, and being done with it.
And what's this 20% stuff?
Yeah. What's the 20% crap? Yeah.
Well, that's the problem. That's the problem that I have with Medicare, is that it only covers 80%. And I just wonder why it doesn't pay 100%. I mean, what is this 80% crap? Because let's say Phil, you as an example. Let's say you don't have supplemental, you have Medicare. On that $49,000, what's 20% of $49,000?
8, 9 grand.
Eight, and probably more, closer to 9 grand. You'd have to pay 9 grand out of your pocket, even though Medicare picked up 80%.
Yeah.
So you have to then have supplemental, and supplemental.
Except the Kaiser.
Except the Kaiser.
Right.
Yeah.
Because Kaiser has some sort of thing. You do your Medicare, and then the Kaiser thing is called a silver something plan, and it's very inexpensive.
Silver sneakers or something.
I'm not
Go
quite
in there,
sure.
Pay your $250 or whatever, and you're done.
No, it's like 99.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Bucks a
Yeah,
month.
but you know what nobody mentions about Medicare. When everybody goes, "Oh, Medicare, these people are getting free medicine and whatever." You know where they get the money for Medicare, don't you?
From the Russians?
No.
Payroll taxes.
Well, forget about that. That's part of it. That's part of it.
Yeah, big time.
No,
And your
not
employer
big time. It comes out of it's added onto your Social Security or whatever. But they take out $100 a month out of my Social Security to pay for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
130.
130 is it now?
134.
Yeah. So, it's not like it should be, hey, old fella, you reached 65, let us take care of you now 100%, and you don't even have to pay any money towards it.
Yeah.
What is this? I just don't understand why in America we consider good health and medicine a luxury. It shouldn't be it shouldn't be no. It shouldn't be a luxury. It should be a right.
Well, they're trying to convince you to be healthy.
No, that's fine. But some people come down with stuff no matter how healthy they are. I'm sure Jeff didn't sit around saying, "Well, I'm really going to just fuck up my body enough so I have a heart problem." Tell him, Jeff. Get him straight on this deal.
Hell, I avoided doctors like the plague.
Look, I've had multiple surgeries, and none of them were done just for the fun of it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, and it's not because you let yourself go or anything like that,
No,
right?
Survival stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, the last two things, I had was due to a bad diet and poor health, and
But now look at Ray. We're going to use Ray as an example. Ray was a marathoner. Ray probably ate really well, and Ray just walks in every couple of years, and his body just produces polyps, and it's not right or wrong. We just have to watch it.
Ray, was it hereditary? Did your father?
I don't think so. I think I'm like the first, but I'm
Phil, you're
everybody.
diverting from what you.
I eat better. I exercise more than anybody in my family, except my brother, maybe.
But you're
so
diverting.
His body
Phil,
just does that.
Yeah, but Phil.
So why can't he have access to health care? Because this is what his body does.
No health care for Ray.
Yeah, but I mean, the point is, Phil,
works.
the point is, and also there's one other factor here, that if you don't have, don't have a way of people being able to pay for their health care, and single payer would be that way, people just don't go to their doctors when something's wrong. And so something which could have been prevented early on because you caught it early, you're not going to catch any longer. Would you agree with me, Tom, on that one?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, the idea is, the other part of it is that people end up getting so sick they end up going to the emergency room, where it's even more costly. So I just keep telling people, it's the old cliche of penny wise and pound foolish.
Yeah.
When you look at it, single payer is the conservative position, and more conservatives are realizing that the most efficient way of having. And actually, what they want to do is they call it Medicare for all. It's sort of test well, but that is the most efficient system that we can have.
Well, let's add one other factor here, and that is that people who if you were going to give people single payer, what you make as a as an important part of this process is that they have to go in for constant testing for various things, like colonoscopies at a certain age. In other words, you have to maintain your medical profile, otherwise you don't get the single payer, so that the government at least can say, hey, we're making sure these people are healthy. You know, we're making sure these people, we're doing a lot of preventative medicine, we're doing a lot of stuff which is going to catch stuff early. Yes, Phil?
Alex, is the VA a single payer, basically?
I think it's no payer. I think it's single payer.
Right, but
yeah.
it's, you know, it's basically single payer.
Actually, actually, Phil, correction. Yeah. Actually, the VA is socialized medicine.
Right, exactly.
Because the government is providing, as opposed to government-provided health insurance.
Well,
government is actually providing the health services.
My follow-up is, how well is the VA doing at dispensing these services?
What does that have to do with it, Phil?
It means that the government.
No, because what you're doing is you're comparing. You're comparing. Listen to Tom. What he said.
I have a friend that gets medical services in the VA. He's a veteran. He loves it. He's getting very good treatment.
He's one out of
many. But also you're comparing. You're comparing.
If you're going to give, just come up with. I could probably find more people that are happy.
The VA, but
I understand, but why is...
Because the VA is a hospital system, not an insurance system. What we're talking about with single payer is that when you go to the hospital, the government pays your bill. You can go to any hospital you want to, you can go to any doctor you want to, but they pay your bill. At the VA, you have to go to the VA and deal with the VA hospital, and that happens to be governmentally run, which in this country, we don't know how to do that kind of stuff.
Right. So why would we put our health care in the hands of government?
No, we're not saying put the health care in the hands of government. We're saying have the government pay for your health care.
Can I say something about
you get the difference, Phil?
No.
Well, then you're... Does everybody else get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he's equating them. My father... Can I say...
Yeah. You and then
okay.
Jeff.
My father uses the VA, the health benefits extensively, and they're excellent.
Yeah, you're in Palo Alto. You're in one of the...
He's not in Palo... What?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Where is he?
Well, actually, you're right. He does come down to Palo Alto, and the hospital is in Palo Alto.
Yeah.
That's one of the better VAs, because I know somebody that is up in the Reading area, and he complains about it all the time. So I think it depends on the area.
Okay, well, all medicine sucks up there. I was just up there. My wife had a kidney infection, and the nurse said, leave here as soon as possible and go home, because the hospitals here are terrible.
That's true, because he even goes outside the system, and he still gets jacked around.
And a lot of people who live up there come down here for their medical if they can afford it.
That's right, yeah.
Is he?
It doesn't matter what system.
Is he getting that new credit card where he can go wherever he wants to if he's not getting the treatment that he needs?
Yeah,
how's that work?
I'm sure if everyone else got it.
My neighbor over here that goes to Monterey has that card.
Yeah,
my dad must have it too.
I think I can go to a VA hospital too. I think anybody who was in the service, can go to a VA hospital.
You were honorably discharged, so yeah, you have those benefits.
Yeah. So
and if you're out of the area, you can get a card that tells them you're out of the area, and you can go to a regular doctor, and they'll cover it.
Yeah.
And you might even be able to, Alex, refinance your wife's condo at a much lower rate. Get a VA.
She already has it at a very low rate.
Oh yeah, well, you might want to check into it and see if you can use your benefit.
She refinanced it, and she only owes about $20,000 on it now.
Oh,
yeah. But anyway, the point is that it would just be nice if Medicare would take care of everything.
No, it would be nice if the Republicans would get the hell out of our way so that the people in the United States can stop talking about health care and start going to see their doctor.
What's wrong with wanting Americans to be healthy? What's wrong with wanting Americans to get the medical care they need and the children to get the medical care they need? People are staying. People don't go to doctors because of the cost of going to the doctor. Even if they have insurance, the co-pays today are $60, Some people can't go
I
the
know.
copays. Some people can't go the insurance cost these days. Let's
And then
just
the
take
pro-
care.
and
Let's
then what-
just make Americans healthy, okay? Otherwise, we may as well be living in Mexico.
Make America great again.
I wonder how they can write off $47,553.55. Is it because maybe I'm a stiff and they figure they'll never collect it?
No,
You know what? That's I was just gonna say, because I had to go get an MRI last week for my back, and just for the hell of it, I called them to see how much it was going to cost or what they were gonna, because I wanted to kind of figure out where I was going to go. Somebody told me it was expensive where I was going, and I was going to try and work a way to go to a different place to get it done, but it ended up being too late. But I called them and asked them what it was going to cost to do a lower spine and an upper spine MRI at this hospital, which I won't mention. It's right in town here. $7,140 for the lower and $7,140 for the upper. That's what they were going to charge the insurance company. That's $14,000 for a freaking MRIs. I know. And then they go in and they write it off this much, and they contract out and they go through all that bullshit. But
Okay, here's what here's what the big problem is.
Maybe it should have just been
Will you listen to me,
$135.
Phil?
That's right.
Phil, can I say something here?
$200.
Phil, to begin with, here's what happens. The insurance companies pay a different rate than you do. Okay? It's like the insurance companies get a very big discount. All right? So if you go in, wait a minute, let me finish, Phil, please.
Okay,
When you go into a doctor and the doctor charges you so much for his services, and you say, I don't have insurance, they say, okay, well, it's going to be $400 for the visit. So you pay that $400. If an insurance company said, oh, wait a minute, we got to pay off this bill for this guy for $400, and they go, well, we're only going to give you $75, they say, we'll take it, right? So if you don't have insurance, you're going to pay retail. If you have insurance, you're paying wholesale.
Well, why are they playing this game? Why don't you just take the $75 anyway? Because it's the honest thing to do.
Because they don't do it.
Tom, smack him around, will you?
Yeah, that's when American corporations are greedy, Phil.
But they never get that money.
That's what caused me to do this in the first place, because a friend of mine said, you can go up to San Jose and get that done for $200. And then she had insurance, and she said, I ended up paying it out of my pocket because it was less than the damn deductible.
Wow.
She just went up there, and they, if you're an insurance company, they've got one schedule of fees. And if you're going in there and saying, I want an MRI, you got another schedule of fees.
Well, let me
give drive-through MRI place.
Probably,
right.
But what the hell? It's the same goddamn thing, right?
It's not as claustrophobic, though.
That sucker. You know what? I went into that thing just like you did. And I told him to pull me out right away. That was the first time I had to get yanked out.
Yeah.
It's tough.
I'd have to have an open MRI. I could not do that.
No, this one was closed, and it was like shoving me into a sausage with a frickin' plunger, man.
Yeah.
And I told him pull me out.
It is tough.
I had to get all twisted around to get comfortable.
I mean, my wife just falls asleep in there.
It was an hour and a half in the damn thing.
Wow.
I never get claustrophobic in those things. It's feels like you're just pulling the covers over your head.
Yeah, well, I'm not, I'm triple extra large petite, but and then they shoved me into that damn hole. It's like, and then they put the pads around you, and they shoved me in there, and I was getting jerked around in there, and then they said, okay, stop, and I was right in the middle of it, and I said, yank me out, buddy, because this ain't going to cut it.
This isn't going to cut it. Yeah. But the point is that you have to pay whole retail if you don't have insurance.
Yeah.
But most of those people don't pay their bill anyway, and it gets written off.
That's not true. See, Phil, if they had doctors, they wouldn't do what Tom talked about. They wouldn't run over to the ER. It wouldn't cost an arm and a leg. And then when you get your bill, you wouldn't be sucking it up for the people who went into the ER because it showed on your reflected on your
Renee,
bill.
a lot of the people that go to the ER the county ends up picking up that tab. Do you think the county is paying the full retail price?
Well, no, we've got to. The reason all these problems exist, Phil, is because we don't have single payer. Okay,
No,
and
it's
the
because-
government, the government,
Well, no,
the
it's
government
those
has
people
the
that don't have insurance.
The government has money to take care of every American. Look, if the Brits had enough money to take care of every Brit, I don't know why we don't have enough money to take care of every American.
Well,
Because
they're
we're giving
running
it
out.
away to the rich people.
And to
Thank you, Vernon.
Yes, exactly. So yeah.
Well, they're not giving it to me, and well, I'm not rich.
Well,
It's
not
the head
rich
of Blue
enough, Phil.
Cross. It's the head of an Aetna. It's the head of every other insurance company.
It's the
All
Betty
making big money.
DeVosses.
But why we can't get the simple concept that
We can't
we're a,
because
co- we,
Phil's
we
won't
don't
let us.
we don't have in this country. Let me try and give a decent pleading of it. We don't have the mentality in this country that we give a good goddamn about each other. You know, that we want every American to be healthy. We don't want people who are sick to go without medical care. That everybody deserves medical care as a right, but also because you're a fellow American and we want to take care of you. We want to make sure you're healthy, because if you're healthy, that adds to the health of the country. We have a very sick country here because a lot of people don't have insurance, so they don't go to doctors, so all they do is they get sick, and by the time they're so sick that they have to see a doctor, it's too late.
Now, this is spoken by a man without a car. Because if you had a car,
what does that
you'd
have to do with what
understand
we're
that we have
talking
to
about?
cull the society so that there's more parking spaces. You know?
Why is it when you don't have an argument for something, you have to make a joke about it to try and
That's
divert
true.
it? No,
You
I mean,
know-
why can't we just care about each other? We don't give a
We
shit
do.
about
Is
each
there
other.
anybody
The reason
that's being
there's help,
denied
the
medical
reason there's socialized medicine in single payer in England, national health they call it, is they created national health right after World War II, because after being bombed to a fairly well, they said, we got to give ourselves a present. And the present they gave themselves was medical for everybody. Yes, Tom, do you agree with that, Tom? I'm right about that. That's how it happened in England.
Yeah. I think Vernon wants to say something.
Yes, Vernon.
Yeah, one thing that gets overlooked about single payer is that if this country were to adopt single payer like they have in Canada, you wouldn't have to pay extra premiums on your car insurance. You wouldn't have to pay extra premiums on your homeowner's insurance, because if somebody gets hurt, they're taken care of by single payer. So you don't have to pay extra insurance for your car and for your home.
So you mean that if somebody
that's a
gets
good
hurt
idea.
if somebody gets hurt on your property, Vernon, in Canada, they can't sue you for
They
Well,
would,
why
damage?
would they? Would have health
You,
care.
you can sue anyway if you have single payer, if you can prove negligence. But why else would you sue somebody unless you thought they were negligent?
Everybody's negligent in this country. You know, it's a sue-happy country. You know, you think we're going to get rid of the attorneys? The only way you're going to get something like that is if you put all the attorneys, you know, in a pool and filled it up with
Well,
water.
I'll give you
and put
another
lead
example.
weights on
You were
there.
talking about the high prices of stuff. In pharmaceuticals, any pharmaceutical you buy has a pretty high price.
Yeah.
And yet, when you finally go through your insurance company, I have things, I wish I had one here, in which they list on there, you saved this much by having Express Scripts. Okay? And like for the Cialis, it's something like $1,500 that I saved.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
Hey,
so wait a minute. So how come I only have to pay every 3 months $125 for the Cialis, which is way lower than I had to pay when I went every month to the other pharmacy. I had to pay $75 a month. How come all of a sudden who absorbs that money? Well, who absorbs it is the pharmaceutical company, because they want to do business with Express Scripts, which happens to be the largest pharmaceutical insurer in the country.
I understand Trump called out Pfizer and Novartis about their high prices. and it was during that rally. He said that he called these guys out and told them to lower their prices.
And
that,
I see. And they did, didn't they?
Yeah.
I think they did.
No, they didn't. Yeah. No, they didn't. Are you kidding me?
No.
A pharmaceutical company lowering their prices? I don't think so, Phil. Just because our president said so.
I think that's when they turned the channel.
That's what I was going to say. He went into Mexico telling them that they need to pay their people more, whether he's going to give them money or not. Now he's going over to other CEOs of corporations and telling them what to do, and they're just like, we're real CEOs.
He lives with this. You know what Renee, what he lives with is the myth that if he asks somebody to do something, they're going to jump to it because he's the president of the United States.
Now, do you think that these companies are charging too much? Why in Canada can you go across the border and get these same drugs for less money? Is it tax? Are they charging us unfairly because they do the research here?
Yes, they're charging us unfairly. Though they can't have Canada as a country that uses their pharmaceuticals if they don't give them a good price, because they negotiate for the entire country. Do you know that right now, for instance, as an example, you have on Medicare, you have the Medicare Part D, which is the drug part of
no negotiation,
Medicare.
Right? Because
they were not allowed to negotiate. If they were allowed to negotiate, you know how much those prices would come down? Because when they're going to do business with all those people, they want that business. So
right.
the fact that they can't negotiate means that,
George Bush.
Huh?
Yeah, think a Republican.
Yeah, there was something else George Bush did during his administration, or tried to do during his administration. He wanted to put the ports of this country in the hands of the Chinese. And I guess there was a big uproar during that time. They wouldn't let him do it.
By the way, speaking of people...
Talking about Chinese?
No, that would be your racist way of putting it, Phil. Here's Keenan, ladies and gentlemen, who we first met in Thailand. And now he's back in California.
Yep, finally.
In exotic, San Bruno, someplace like that?
He's in Oakland.
Oakland.
Oh, exotic Oakland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do you live in Oakland? What part of Oakland?
Adams Point.
Oh, Adams Point.
Yeah,
near the lake. I used to live in Rockridge.
Tom?
Where's Adams Point?
My daughter lives there.
It's
really?
It's on the MacArthur area near the lake.
Isn't it amazing?
Oh, okay.
I don't get this, but Tom is in the Bay Area. Kevin's in the Bay Area.
Point, north
Russ is in. Phil is in the in the Bay Area. Ray is in the Bay Area, and Keenan's in the Bay Area. Now, why do we have that many Bay Area people?
Well, Vernon's holding up the South.
And you were in the Bay Area. You're from the Bay Area, Renee. So.
Well, I was born and
Because we all
raised in
knew you
Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
I think Vernon's from Kentucky, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Vernon
He's holding up the
is
southern
the only, and Jeff are the only ones here that haven't been Bay Area residents. Wow, I guess
because we knew you. From
I don't know that's a.
Yeah, nobody else gives a shit about me. Yeah.
Oh no, we're whining again.
You never listened to me on radio, did you, Keenan, or did you?
Yes, I did.
See?
Since when I was a little kid.
He's the same age as me almost.
When he was a zygote.
Well, now I'm sorry I asked. Know.
When you were a little kid. That's bullshit.
Didn't your grandfather listen to him?
Perfect.
When he was an embryo. He heard you through his mother's uterus.
Well, the thing that's scary about that statement is, tell him how old you are, Keenan.
50. I'll be 55 next week.
Yeah, so he
asshole.
He listened to me as a
looks
kid.
Like he's 25.
I know.
As a
I got a haircut.
kid.
That's why.
I did too, but I still look 60.
It's all the Chinese food I eat.
There you go.
I gotta start eating Chinese food.
All I know is I knew I was getting old the day I came on to a woman, and she said, "Hey, are you married?" And I went, "No, I'm not married." And she says, "Well, I have this mother at home."
Oh.
And I knew then that the age thing was
Brutal.
Tides have turned, huh?
Yeah.
Just brutal.
Yeah.
The worst one was for me. I was up in the foothills and I had my son when he was a baby in my arms, and the girl at the gas station says, "Oh, how old's your grandson?" And I was like, "Let's see, he's 15." I was just over 40 years old.
Jeez almighty.
Well, that's because they're all hillbillies
well,
up there.
I won't tell
Only
you.
in America. Only in America, Ray.
Yeah.
I won't tell you what I got when I go pick up my daughter at elementary school. So
Oh yeah,
stop
you must
right
get
there.
carded.
Especially with the beard. Yeah.
What do you
I
get?
sit on the bus and go, look at Santa Claus waiting for everything over there.
Do they think?
Well, you
sometime-
bring that on yourself, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, how,
Your
Totally
kids
your own
take up.
fault.
My
Kevin,
daughter leads it on too.
do your kids take any crap for Santa? You know.
Yeah,
Yeah, they do.
yeah.
yeah.
It's just my
bad.
daughter, really. You know.
Yeah.
My other kids are old enough. They're
Hey,
gone.
listen. If he didn't have that beard, we wouldn't recognize him.
Oh, you should shave it off one night. Just
Oh
so
yeah, just
we-
for the hell of it, he can ruin his entire December career.
His career.
It
Yeah, I
took
was gonna
5
say-
years to grow that beard.
You
He
got to
said-
wait until after December.
Kevin
Yeah,
said
exactly.
that he looks a lot younger without the beard. Kevin, do you have a picture of yourself, a sand beard?
Yeah, I got one somewhere. I'd have to find it.
How long have you had the beard?
I've always had a goatee.
That's the same
Never
question, by
shaved.
the way, that was often asked of Kevin Spacey. How long have you had the beard? But
No more.
I
Just
never
come out.
shaved my upper lip. Never shaved this.
yeah.
But I've always had a goatee, and then when I got laid off, I just let it go.
Hey, listen,
Once I couldn't find a job, I said, screw it.
I've got a couple items here I wanted to bring up. After all, I did prep for the show tonight.
And Kevin prepped for his show.
Yeah.
Just like my sand rolls.
Yeah, I was on TV this morning, yeah.
Yeah.
Morgan Freeman, who you know was accused of, whatever. By
Who was that?
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan
Oh, okay.
Freeman has been given his series back, which is The Story of God. Nat Geo said through production, the production on critically acclaimed series, the Story of God, The Story of Us, we have valued a long-standing relationship with Morgan Freeman. When we learned of recent allegations surrounding Mr. Freeman, completely unrelated to our work with him, as a precaution, we paused production for our new season in order to complete a thorough investigation. They say after the thorough investigation, they found that at no time during his tenure with Nat Geo have any of these allegations been made. All right, and they're giving him his job back. Good for them.
You heard what they said, though. They said at no time that Morgan Freeman was
During-
working for them.
Yeah, that's what they said. But that's the only thing they have knowledge of. They can't go out and do an investigation of other situations. They don't have the right to do that, but they do have the right to do it within their own company. And if he didn't do it on their dime, they can't say, "Hey, we're getting rid of him." But if he acted improperly towards his crew or his staff or whatever, while they were doing work with him, then they would have the right to say goodbye. So it's a very honest determination. Okay. Another news item. This one will be happy. Disneyland is about to introduce alcohol.
Jeez.
Yeah,
there's-
You need it there.
that's what you want at Disneyland, are a bunch of drunk people, and it's not like all of Disneyland is going to have alcohol.
It's just Epcot.
No, the cantina scene from Star Wars: A New Hope and The Force Awakens, Oga's, will feature music and exotic drinks, both alcoholic and non-alcoholic. So in the Star Wars setting, you can get pissed. Okay.
There you go.
So
I was in Orlando 6 months ago, and they took us to the Animal Kingdom, which is one of the the Disney things. All I saw there was screaming kids, parents that just couldn't wait to get out of there, And they need alcohol because I tell you, I have never seen so many unhappy people in the happiest place in the world as I did in this.
It's called the happiest
Disney.
place on Earth, is what it's.
Yeah, same thing, Earth, world.
Trump's world's going to suck for everyone, so they should get used to it.
Oh, is Trump World a new Epcot attraction?
Yeah, it's just below the colonoscopy attraction.
Yeah, yeah.
They have a great orangutan display. It's his favorite.
Don't monkey it up.
No, here's the thing about California. Here's the thing I mentioned earlier about California. Net neutrality took a big step forward this week in California, with the state assembly on Thursday approving a bill that would restore Obama-era protections that were abolished this year by the Federal Communications Commission. The legislation would prohibit internet providers from blocking or slowing down websites and video games or charging fees for faster speeds. The bill also prohibits internet providers from engaging in a practice called zero rating, in which it exempts certain content from monthly data caps. The bill passed the Assembly 61 to 18 vote and now moves on to the Senate. So,
hey, you don't think that those video games are dangerous? How about the gamer conference where the guy goes in and shoots up 19 people?
It was a football gaming conference.
Yeah.
Football gaming conference.
It was Madden NFL.
Yeah, it was
So
Madden
it's
NFL.
not
It
even
wasn't
a first-person shooter.
It wasn't fucking Tomb Raider. Okay.
Well,
there
hey,
you go.
so you throw the ball, you shoot the gun.
By the way, that's going to be the big thrill for me this month. Early on this month, my new Tomb Raider game is coming because they have. I played every version of the Tomb Raider game since it began.
Wow.
Basically,
I've
because
never played a video game other than Pong and the one where the little Pac-Man.
Pac-Man. Okay. Well, I've been doing Tomb Raider since the very beginning, primarily because it's nice to manipulate a woman. So
Listen to you, Damien, a misogynistic fuck on a Friday.
I know. Well, that's what I do.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
It's misogynistic.
Misogyny. Look. Just remember, there's a difference.
MFF.
There's a difference between misogyny and what's the other type of thing that we have? We have misogyny, and we have
appendectomy.
No.
Addictomy.
Well, there's the one where
sexism.
you don't like women, and it's the one you don't like people. Misanthrope.
No.
Misanthropy.
No. The difference between sexism and I know what it is. The difference between sexism and misogyny is that misogyny is wrong. Excuse me. Sexism is wrong. I'll get this right eventually.
Try it again.
Sexism is wrong, but misogyny comes from experience. So anyway,
Oh, man. That's sick.
are you ever going to take? By the way, Renee, are you ever going to take responsibility for some women just driving us batty, driving us crazy,
No. See,
treating
the
men?
moment that you guys admit that some men should not be treated the same way we treat you.
It's
That
due to
you
your
guys are-
chromosome imbalance.
No, so look at this. So Ted Cruz. Why would I accept Ted Cruz over somebody like Tom? Never.
Well,
I would
Ted
never
Cruz
respect Ted Cruz over Tom.
Ted Cruz is running against a guy with a DUI,
And Tom
Hey,
Hanks.
Bob.
and his
That
name
one
is
I said.
Bobo or something.
No, it's.
Well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Tell me, can I just ask you this,
Beto
Renee, and
O'Rourke.
be very honest
Yeah.
about it? Do you consider me a sexist pig?
Who? You?
Yeah.
Personally
I
or
think-
for the show?
All men are sexist
Personally.
pigs.
Personally, no.
Okay. All right.
No. And so when I'm yelling at you guys, it's normally not any of you. It's the Ted Cruz kind of people. Like, I am not going to give that pedophile in Alabama, Roy Moore or whatever his name is, I am not going to give him the same respect because he's not a man. He's an adolescent male that took advantage of a woman who didn't have anybody else there and gave away her parental rights so that Roy Moore can screw her daughter. So Roy Moore is not equal to a Jeff Stein. Roy Moore is not equal to a Phil Meyer. And for you to say that I have to treat all men the same way, you're not paying attention to how jackass some of these men are.
Wait, can I practice being a Republican?
Sure.
Don't you think that it's actually more the parents' fault for allowing that to happen?
No.
Okay, so
Roy Moore had a choice.
He was a junior assistant DA or something like that, right? He knew what he was doing because he was
in his late 20s, early 30s.
No, I was actually trying to be a Republican. I was actually playing. I was playing the. I don't think that. I was just saying. I was trying. I'm practicing being a Republican.
No, but you have to. Wait a minute. Hold on a second.
How good it was that Roy Moore supports the malls of America.
Ray,
yes.
Ray, after you did what you did, you have to go and scene. So I'm just playing the part and scene. Yeah.
You men have got to understand. There's a huge difference between men and adolescent males.
Wait a minute. If we were all black and you said "you people," we would take great offense at that and would be considered racist. So by doing it to a bunch of white males here, isn't that sexist? Isn't that
sexist? Like being called
one
people.
Chinese guy. Oh, I'm sorry.
You people.
I'm Jewish. I don't count.
And scene.
Jeff, what would you like us to call you?
Nothing.
Oh.
Okay, nothing.
Call him for dinner. Okay.
Well, Vern's got his hand up.
Yes, Kevin. Did you have your hand up? I thought he had his hand up. Oh, Vernon has his hand up. I
heard a good joke last week. It was talking about trade and how Trump is handling trade. You know, it's the way trade is supposed to work is like sex between two people. When it's done right, both are happy, unless Trump gets involved.
And they're just soaked with piss.
Yeah. If you believe
and scene.
And scene, yeah. If you believe the Steele dossier, which I do, and scene.
I'm sure you do.
Also in the news, a producer at NBC News who worked closely with Ronan Farrow as he was putting together material for his expose on Harvey Weinstein, a story NBC passed on that was eventually published in the New Yorker, says the order to halt reporting came from the very highest levels of NBC. Rich McHugh, a producer,
sure I hate Ronan Farrow,
who recently, I do too, left his job in the investigative unit at NBC News, is the first person affiliated with NBC to publicly charge the network impeded his and Mr. Farrow's efforts to nail down the story of Mr. Weinstein's alleged sexual misconduct. Now, wait a minute. Hold on a second. There's NBC's side of it. NBC denied McHugh's characterization this week, the report notes, with the network repeating a previous suggestion that Farrow's work was not ready for broadcast at the time, and he decided to bring it to the New Yorker. But the Times piece says McHugh described NBC as resistant throughout the 8-month reporting process. The Times quotes McHugh saying 3 days before Ronan and I were going to head to L.A. to interview a woman with a credible rape allegation against Harvey, I was ordered to stop the interview with this woman and to stand down on the story altogether. I also saw an additional story in which NBC said that when Farrow said, I want to take this to the New Yorker, they said, fine, it's okay with us. All the research you've done for us, you can go give it to the New Yorker. And he said when he went to the New Yorker, he went with more information than he had when he proposed it to NBC, which they didn't see that had been vetted well enough. So
now maybe it wasn't vetted well enough because now we're finding out from the emails from one of his accusers, main accuser, that it was more consensual than she's led on to believe.
Well, in that one particular case, I think that it's. I think that what NBC is trying to say is that we didn't feel he had enough information for us to make these kind of accusations. You know, when you're making an accusation against a person, you have to have the proper information. So if he tries to sue you, you can go into court and say, here, and hold up papers saying we have this proof.
These documents.
These documents. He didn't have them, and he didn't get them and didn't present them till he went to the New Yorker. And then he got all the information that NBC was not privy to.
So you're believing
what was
that?
Farrow's source?
Oh, I believe it absolutely. I believe that a network would be very careful with a story like that.
What do you
I
think
would believe
Farrow's
that a
source
network
was?
wouldn't.
The sources were women who didn't want to be named at the time, and NBC felt because they didn't have names of people, and because he didn't have names of people, he didn't have all the information he used in the New Yorker. He didn't have at the time. He presented the story to NBC, is what NBC is saying.
So, yes, so says NBC.
No, but why is all of a sudden NBC the liar in this case? Roland Farrow's a piece of fucking shit.
Well, hold on a second. So the Pecker guy is the person who's in charge of the National Enquirer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Do these people like run in the same circle? Was there any benefit for NBC to shut it down? Because Weinstein wasn't really working for NBC, but he had a production company.
No,
right?
What does the Inquirer have to do with NBC or the what was the New Yorker?
There's a pattern here there could be a pattern here of shutting the story down, and we're trying to find out if it's just bullshit or if we can figure our way through it, or we don't really care because the cat's already out of the bag.
All I'm saying is they didn't shut it down because they were worried about Weinstein or doing business with Weinstein. In fact, Weinstein has to do business with them. They were worried about the legal ramifications if they ran a story that wasn't fully vetted. Yes, Tom, did you have your hand up?
Yeah, I'm confused as well, because what the National Enquirer was doing is they were actually they pay for their stories. And this particular case regarding McDougal, they were actually paying her story to kill it.
Yeah.
And the word's coming out more. There's more information that there's a whole bunch of stories.
But
like
she
that.
agreed to it, right?
Definitely a different situation than what we've got with NBC. So I don't know what you mean. Are you accusing NBC of potentially killing the story by buying it? Because wait a
minute. But NBC didn't do catch and release. What they did is they released. They told him, if you want to take this thing over to the New Yorker, go be our guest. Even though you did all the research on our dime, it's okay for you to go over there because we cannot run this story as it is currently constituted. And they're claiming that once he went over to the New Yorker, he had more releases, more information, more names, all of that. And so the New Yorker felt comfortable with it. I think if he had gone with the stuff that NBC wouldn't take, I think he probably never would have gotten that thing published in the New Yorker. I think they saw that it was legally right at that point.
You have a full house.
Yeah, I know.
Yay.
I know. Yes, because we got Brian Ludwig at the last moment who's driving down the road. Where are you going? Home, Brian?
I am going home. I'm in just did a delivery in Washington, D.C. So
yeah, okay.
So I am currently. I'm assuming you can both see and hear me then.
Yes, I can hear you. There is a thump, though. There's a click.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to drive to Philadelphia now on a Friday night?
I think he lives in Pittsburgh. I think you live in Pittsburgh.
Right.
I live in Pittsburgh.
So
I'm driving.
It's summer.
That is correct.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
but it's raining, isn't it?
So anyway, all I'm saying is that the story with NBC was they didn't think the story was ready. Whose dog is that?
Renee.
Oh, it's your dog. Oh, okay. Oh.
She said the dog is saying you're a sexist.
Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, by the way, Robin Wright, star of House of Cards with Kevin Spacey, says he deserves a second chance.
He deserves a second chance. Well, good for her.
Did she sleep with him?
She says.
In fact, I heard her say that they barely even talked except during the middle of scenes. They would just say hello and then walk on.
Yeah, but he says, I believe every human being has the ability to reform. And in that sense, second chances, or whatever you're going to call it, absolutely, I believe in that. It's called growth.
Well, she's trying to be PC. Me, I've said it before. Unless if I were the executive producer, one of the executive producers of that show, or any show where it's, a scenario like that happened with one of the lead actors, my stance would be, unless he's in handcuffs and doing the perp walk, he's coming right the fuck back on next season.
I would.
So social justice warriors can eat my ass, suck my cock, and lick my asshole. Because unless he's in handcuffs and going to jail, fuck you and your mother and your sister and your brother all at once in a fucking king-size bed.
By the way, it's interesting. It's interesting. Interesting when Brian comes on, he uses up DC. He uses up all our cursing quotient for the night.
Just the time span of like 2 minutes.
I think if you listen to that sentence, every other word was one which, if we were on radio right now, like I never told him I was going to be on national radio because I didn't want him calling. You know.
But if I had called, I had other shit I was doing. But of course, because I've called on our local station, KDKA, before, and of course I've cleaned my language up.
You know, KDKA was the first radio station in America. So they think, although they honestly believe that the first real radio station was in San Jose.
I thought it was some obscure station in New York, but
didn't the early radio stations only have three letters in their call sign? But KDKA has 4.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
They could have 4.
Like
they
KYA and
and
Tom probably knows.
And it's a shame because a lot of those stations changed their call letters over the years. And
was it in St. Louis or something where the first radio station was?
No,
well, KDKA is unique because it's the only station east of the Mississippi River with the first letter of K.
Yeah.
All the rest of them are W.
And the reason it does is because it was essentially, they say the first station, but the argument is that down in San Jose, they actually started broadcasting. It became KCBS. And that they were broadcasting before KDKA. So there's been an argument going for years.
Now, Vernon, you're a W for your ham. Are there hams that are Ks when they're on this side of the country?
No, it's not.
It's all W?
It's not rated by geography. Ham call signs can begin with W, K, N, or the letter A.
How about west of the Mississippi? Can you name a station that starts with W?
I don't know.
WKPIX.
No. I bet Tom knows.
Other than that show WKRP, no, I can't.
Hold on a second.
That's in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
WMAL.
Tom's got his hand up.
Yes, Tom.
Waco.
WACO in Waco, Texas. And
there's actually also a television station in Philadelphia, KYW.
Oh, okay.
But that actually used to be an NBC station, KRCV.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was called KRCV, Channel 3.
Yeah.
Before it became KYW.
Tom, how do you know this stuff?
Where did that come from?
I'm a big radio fan. That's how I ended up listening to Alex. I mean, when I turned on to
No,
Alex,
he's a radio fan.
I grew up with. This is fun.
He's a radio fan in spite of the fact that he listened to me. Yeah.
Well, and I just realized, that you were actually a bridge between the radio people I grew up, because you, as they were going through their careers, you started working with them. So, you mentioned Joe Pine.
Yeah.
You knew Joe Pine in L.A. And I
didn't know him. I didn't know him. Actually, my wife at the time, my first wife, whose name I can't remember right now, didn't work for him, but knew him quite well. Yeah. But I never met him.
You know what Alex did that a lot of people didn't do is he always opened up his show to people to come in and visit the way he was able to do as a kid, and the first time I talked to him when he moved out here, I says, "Is this the same Alex Bennett that was in New York?" He says, "Yeah." He says, "Come on down to the studio." That was how he messed it all up.
I didn't remember you then either, did I?
Huh?
I didn't remember you then either, did I? Yeah.
You don't remember me coming down the studio?
Huh? Nah.
I look a lot different.
He says he said he knew me in New York, and then he said he knew me in San Francisco. I think he's been putting me on all along. One of these days, he's going to say, "I actually didn't know you at all."
Oh, it was not. It was Alex, somebody else.
I had a lot of hangers on. I'm sorry, I was that popular.
Yeah, the groupies.
The groupies. Oh, the groupies. Yeah. You got my cast-offs, right?
Yeah, a couple.
Oh boy. Yeah, anyway,
I even got some that never got through to you because they called the station when I answered.
We have a thump going on. Would you do me a favor, Brian? Would you mute your phone just to see if that thump is coming from you? Yeah,
okay.
That's where it was coming from. Just mute it when you're not using it, okay? There we go. Yeah. And Keenan listened to me when he was a kid. Oh God.
Yeah.
His grandfather listened to you.
Listen, there's only 23 years difference in our age, so if you listened to me as a kid, yeah, it's very possible.
He's full of it. He was
high
older
school.
than that. I listened to you. I was like out of college and before, and
I listened to you when I was 17 or 16 in New York.
Yeah, but you got to remember when I was working in New York, I was only like 29 years old. I was the youngest. At that time, I was the youngest person working radio in New York.
But I never met you when you were on WMCA. I met Frankie Crocker. I met a bunch of other people, but I never met you. And it was already, and I did an interview with Terrell Matheny for my high school paper. And
well, you have to explain it. He was the program director at WMCA,
and he took it half talk.
Well, I was there when it went half talk, and I guess I worked with Matheny. Yeah. But the program director I remember the most was a woman named Ruth Meyer. Yeah.
She started the Good Guys.
Yes. So Matheny had to come after her.
Oh, after
he came after her, right?
The whole reason for my interview was what's going on at WMCA. Why are they going from a music format to a talk format? And they said because we got this one guy named Alex Bennett who's a shoo-in and is going to make us millions. Yeah. Bennett, yeah. Well, anyway, so the good guy format went away, and I guess they got rid of the rest of the T-shirts or sweatshirts. It's a time for me to. I guess it is time for me to play the theme and get out of here. If I don't do it, we're in a lot of trouble. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Wait a minute. I got to get rid of some audio here. Hold on a second. Something is putting out with audio. Oh, there we go. Why is that? There we go. Got rid of it. Okay. Sometimes there's a tab open and the sound is coming through. Hey, listen. What a nice way to end the week. Do we have a full house? Yeah. We have a full house. Yeah, we did. Yeah. And I thank you, Tom, for being part of that full house and one of the first callers tonight. And as well as Vernon, who was the first caller tonight. Does he get a prize for being the first caller? I don't know.
2 shows even. He did written first on
yeah.
Gabnet bucks.
Yeah.
He was first on Damien's show too, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
No, his mom was.
She's not a call-in.
Yeah. Jeff, thank you.
She calls in.
Jeff, thank you. Thank you to Phil Meyer. Thank you to Renee Collins. Thank you to Ray Renati. Thank you to Kevin. Glad everything came out okay. Thanks to Keenan and thanks to Brian.
Like a white tornado.
Yeah. All of you, give a big wave goodbye to the audience so they can see your shining faces. Thank you, everybody. Hopefully we'll see you next week. That's it. That's our group for tonight. That's the citizen panel. That's the way the citizen panel works, so that you know how it goes, and you can be part of it. Just go to the Gabnet page on the right-hand side. Tells you how you can do it. and then you can give us a call as well. Next, The Intersection with Jack Bishop, 1 o'clock this morning. Yes, it's going to be Connections. On Tuesday night, I'll be here as the first show because Damien has to take the night off. So we'll see you at 10 o'clock on Tuesday, same time, same station in life. In the meantime, as always, if you see her, you know what? Tell her I love her, okay?